Hey, what's up everyone, Same Time Gaming here. Welcome back from the Division 2 build video. Well guys, today I have another SMG build for you all. Now this one's a bit different than the usual SMG builds. This is a crit build for sure, but this is not like the higher DPS build where you don't have any type of survivability. This build will actually keep you alive, and it will let you survive all those NPCs, because usually when we use SMG build, we stay up close to the targets, and when you stay up close to a bunch of NPCs, you do end up dying. But this build will make sure you survive and you do have a lot of damage. It's not like a super tank build or anything. You do have a lot of damage, you have a lot of crit, and you do have a lot of survivability. And this is really good for solo like missions, heroic missions, with directives, without directives, doesn't matter, or also for control point farming. It's really top notch for like a solo player, and also it's really easy to farm. Most of the items are actually free, and you can just get all the others pretty easily. So it's very easy to farm as well. And also when you're playing on a group, it's really super good for group play as well, because you're going to be buffing your teammates' damage as well. So let me show you the build over here real quick. As you can see, this is a True Patriot build. It's a 4-piece True Patriot. Now there are other ways you can actually use this build. I'll talk about that in a moment. You could use a 3-piece True Patriot, but I'm using 4-piece, and I'll tell you why it is actually better. I'm using the Gunner specialization for 10% armor on kill. Now I'm using the Chatterbox only for laughs and giggles, to be honest, because the Chatterbox, when you reload your weapon with a lot of NPC in front of you, you get that RPM bonus, and it's just like go crazy. It burst fire too much, so it's really good. And especially pairing with the True Patriot, it gives the Chatterbox a lot of ammo capacity. Like you can see the magazine size has 78. It's really sweet. And right now you can see my total damage is 99.6k. It's because my Memento backpack is active, so I have all the bonus damage. Now the secondary, I have the MP5. The reason why I have the MP5, you can see the total damage here with the Memento maxed out. The damage is really sweet. I have 800 RPM, 67 max size, and I have measured talent. This weapon with Memento backpack buff maxed out will hit 530k like crit, which is really sweet for a 1.4 million armor build. And you could use the vector SMG as well. You can see I have a pretty good vector here with damage to target out of cover, killer talent. This will do really good, but since it's a high RPM weapon, I wouldn't recommend, especially with 4-piece True Patriot, and I'll talk to you that in a moment. I'm using the MP5 mainly because of the lower RPM it has, but then the measured is actually giving me high RPM as well, and also a bit of higher damage as well. So it's a bit of a like combination between high damage and high RPM. So it's really good. And only the reason, like I said, I'm using the Chatterbox for the laugh and giggles with that crazy RPM coming in. Okay, let me show you the Memento backpack damage, like fully maxed out before it disappears. It's almost disappearing right now. So I'm using the MPN weapon right now. And if I shoot it right now, as you can see, I'm not really doing much damage because they didn't have the bonus armor. So now my Intimidate is active. Now look at that. Now I'm doing for 575,000 crit when measured talent is active. The half magazine is letting me do that damage. But like this is a lot of damage. Now that's because there's actually the reason why I'm doing this much of damage most of the time, and I'll tell you why. So first, as you can see, when I start hitting my weapon, I'm critting for 386,000. You see, 386,000. But when I go to the half magazine, my damage increases and it reaches 580,000 or 75,000 rather. So that's a really good damage. Now let me show you why that's happening. So first, let's see what True Patriot does. True Patriot 2-piece gives you 30% ammo capacity. 3-piece give you 30% magazine size, and 4-piece gives you red, white, and blue. Now it cycles every 2 seconds, the red, white, blue flag. So when it's on red and you hit a target, then they will apply the red flag on them. And when it's white, when you shoot them, it applies the white flag. When it's blue, when you shoot them, it applies the blue flag. That's how it is. Now the red flag, as you can see, it amplifies the damage, like enemies' damage taken by 8%. So when you shoot an NPC that has red flag on them, they will take 8% multiplicative damage from you. So this is basically an 8% multiplied damage, which is really sweet. Now that's the only reason I'm telling you to use not a high RPM weapon, because if you use a high RPM weapon, you may not hit the NPC with the red flag. Sometimes you end up killing them because you have such high RPM, and you're not giving the time for the red flag to cycle. that could happen as well, because it cycles in every 2 seconds, right? So that's the reason why I wouldn't recommend using a high RPM like a Vector. If I wanted, I could have used it. Now, I do know I'm using the Chatterbox, like I said, just for the laughs and giggles. That's why I'm using the Chatterbox. But mainly, I'm using the MPN with the measure talent, because my red flag will be applied guaranteed on the target all the time whenever I shoot. Now, this is actually better over the Fox's Prayer or a contractor gloves, because Fox's Prayer has 8% damage to target out of cover, which is multiplicative, of course, and the contractor gloves has 8% damage to armor, so it will apply only on armor NPCs, and the damage to target of cover will apply to the target who's not in cover, but this one will basically apply on everybody. Just you have to make sure that you do hit them with the red flag. Once you hit them, you're going to straight away do the 8% multiplicative damage, and it's not only for you, but also for your teammates. I think it works on your teammates. So when your team is shooting a target with red flag, they also get the buff. Only the white one doesn't work on them. The white one is when you hit them, you get 2% healing like every second, like armor healing. So when you shoot them, your armor will repair by 2%, which is really good. But it doesn't work on your teammate. But the red and blue one, I think it works. And the blue one is the enemies, when they shoot at you, will do 8% less damage. Since you're staying too close to your targets, they will actually going to do 8% less damage to you, which is really sweet as well. So that's why I would recommend having 4-piece True Patriot over a Fox's Prayer or a Contracted Gloves. Of course, those are named items, so they could be a bit hard to farm. And the True Patriot is pretty easy to get. Like I said, go to a True Patriot targeted loot. And since it's a gear set, it's also better because it has one less attribute. So you shouldn't be having any trouble farming these things. So that's the reason why. And when all the full flag is active, like the red, white, and blue, when you kill the target with red, white, and blue flags, they will explode, doing an explosion damage. And that will be like a 5-meter explosion. If someone is standing in front of them, will take the damage. Targets, that NPC will take the damage, not you. So yeah, that's really sweet as well. Now, if I show you my holster, I'm running armor and critical hit damage. For the knee pads, I went for weapon damage here because I wanted to have a little bit high weapon damage, not go all way armor, so I can actually kill something rather than just be a little tank. So that's why I went for that. Now, for the gloves, I have armor and critical hit damage. Now, if you take a look carefully, like you'll see I have 4 blue core attributes. Yes, the mask, gloves, holster, and memento. So I have 4 core attributes as blue and 3 red core attributes like weapon damage, which is my chest piece, my knee pads, and the memento, of course. So that's why memento is really good, to be honest. And every time I collect the trophy, I will get 40% bonus armor because I have 4 core blue attributes. So that's why I will get 40% bonus armor, which is really good. And it will keep you alive and proc your Intimidate. You can see my chest piece is a Sokolov with 10% SMG damage. And these are my stats and Intimidate talent. So whenever you collect the trophy, you'll get that Intimidate talent active because of the bonus armor. And yeah, just keep on collecting those long-term buff, and it will increase your weapon damage over time. It'll give you 3% armor regen. That's also really good. And you just keep on collecting the trophies, get that bonus armor, and survive like that. So it's really good for solo play, I would say. You can have no trouble clearing control points or heroic missions with this build. And also in a team, the bonus, like the buff, will work on the team, so that will also increase their damage as well. I do know that the white debuff, like the buff, the healing thing doesn't work on your team, but if you have any information on that, you can confirm in the comment section. But I'm pretty sure that the white one doesn't work on your teammates, but the red and blue one does work. I mean, it's been a long time since I used True Patriot, so I don't really sure about this. Even if none of them works on your teammates, still the red, white, blue flag is really good for you. And also, like I said, it's really better than using contractor gloves or a Fox's Prayer knee pads. I mean, if you have it, you could use it. There's no problem with that. But especially it will make your life easy if you're new to the game and you want to farm the build, so you can use it this way. So you don't have to farm a named item and wait for it to be like perfect. So, or you can go to Cassie. She's selling contractor gloves, so you can actually get that this week as well, so you can use it like that. But 4-piece True Patriot is pretty fun to use. I haven't really made a 4-piece True Patriot build, so I wanted to make one, so that's how it's actually working. And yeah, that's basically the build. Now let me show you my crit before I leave the video. So you can see with the chatterbox, I have 56.2% crit chance and 141% critical hit damage. Now this could be higher if my stats were maxed out. I'm pretty sure I could go 58% crit chance and like 145 crit damage, which will be really good. And the damage you saw, it's a really nice damage as well. Right now all my buffs are gone, so I can't show you the damage, but I did show you the damage with the MPN, which is really sweet as well. Like 575,000 with the MPN when all the buffs are active. It's really good. So yeah, let me know how you feel about this build and give it a try if you haven't already. And I apologize for talking this slow because I usually talk too fast. So if I bored you while talking slowly, it's because I'm a little sick. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.